I mentioned in a recent video that I started working alone, and it's been a little over a month. And it's interesting that when you spend time alone, you do an awful lot of self-reflection. And I have noticed that I need a little bit more social interaction, being alone a lot of the times, a little solitary. And I don't know if it's mentally healthy if you're a person that's hypersocial, but I also find that while on one hand I feel like I'm trying to maybe find or cultivate a social circle, that it's a little difficult. I think somehow I have like this inherent misalignment with societal norms, and it's not just a matter of preference, but like maybe a reflection of a deeper discord between my values, what I think is important, and maybe the prevailing currents of mainstream culture. I'm not sure, but it's like when I see people who say, hey, come over for a football game, it's like, I really don't want to be around a bunch of people who paint their face and scream when some dude chases a ball around on the dirt and makes a point. It doesn't really appeal to me. And, you know, I tend to be what some people call maybe a fringe thinker or an outlier. When I have a conversation with somebody, I really like to have a conversation about concepts and ideas. I don't like to gossip about people or just talk about simple, current events. I like to talk about things that are more important. And so I find that it's, as much as I want to be around more people, I kind of find that I'm repelled by a lot of people. And it's not that I'm being deliberately rebellious, towards people, but I think maybe it's because I kind of demand authenticity from people if I want to be in a relationship with them, in a world that tends to celebrate conformity and all kind of run in the same direction. And, but I did notice about myself that I'm starting to feel the need to be around more people because I'm alone a lot. And, another thing I noticed about myself recently too is that, for over a decade, I kept myself artificially stressed out and anxious for the simple reason that it made me really productive. When I was younger, I had the privilege of being really broke and have my back against the wall, and I always figured it out. And so afterwards, when things started working out, I kept my back against the wall all the time mentally so that I would be more productive and I could check more things off the list, and I overscheduled things and I would still force myself to get things done. And while I was productive, and it helped me get a lot of things finished and it helped me move forward in a lot of ways, I never realized the value of having like tranquility, that absence of anxiety and stress. I didn't know what that was like, which kept me this close to being in a bad mood all the time, made me this close to wanting to overdrink all the time, or some other form of self-medication. And the truth is, it was because I was keeping myself stressed out by overbooking myself and creating urgency with the things that I've chosen to do, and imagining these catastrophic expectations if I didn't get them done. And now that I'm trying to slow down, I'm in my mid-late 50s, I'm trying to slow things down, and the peacefulness is great. The lack of urgency all the time feels pretty good. The water's calmed down a lot in my head, But the truth is also, I'm also finding that now that I've kind of slowed things completely down, I need to find a little bit more of a social outlet, because a social outlet would be useful to me, because I'm home alone now like 6 or 8 hours a day. I love my dogs, they're great company, but they're not very good conversation. You probably hear the roosters in the background. I work in a pretty cool place. I'm in my own property, and I don't have traffic, I'm not in town, I don't get harassed by anybody, and being left alone is good. But being left alone too long is, could create psychopathy. And like a dog that's not socialized well, he gets too hyper around people and jumps on the car and he acts, I notice, I'm not saying I'm like that, but I'm saying that it does have an effect on you mentally if you don't stay socially healthy. That's an important thing to keep in mind. But I still advocate working for yourself. And if you want less stress, work by yourself. But don't neglect your social needs, or you'll start to suffer other little things. You know, you'll be dying to get out, and then you might run into the wrong people and start hanging out with a stupid crowd that's not good for you either. So I find it's hard for me to find a crowd, or I don't even need a crowd, just a couple people. You know, I heard somebody say once, friends are like, they're like change. I mean, I would rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. And so, you know, you just need a few friends. And if you look back on your life, you may have 4,000 of them on Facebook. Most people really only have, you could count on one hand how many people they have that are real friends. So, just my thoughts for the day while I'm waiting for something to dry. Anyway, have a good day.